Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on Flosstube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to FlossMas. This is the 3rd of December. No kind of fancy headgear today, you'll just have to accept my festive personality. Right, I've got quite a few things to show you today. I've got a giveaway, I've got the advent calendars, I've got some information actually about other Flosstubers doing FlossMas because I've made a list, I've checked it twice. From all your comments. I've done some stitching, I had a new start, but which one did I start? Did I start the Luca S or did I start the Carol X Stitch Freebie? We shall see. I've found box number 3 and envelope number 3, so let's get started. I am going to start off with this one, the big advent calendar. So I found number 3. It did take me a little while earlier, which I'm glad I decided to do beforehand. And we have some rather festive choristers there singing up in the attic. Quite what they're doing in the attic while singing, we're not entirely sure, but they look like they're having a whale of a time. So we've now got 3 doors open on that advent calendar, which I'm just going to pop back over there because whilst it is beautiful, it is slightly unwieldy for showing on a floss tube. Right, let's have a look at my stitching then. The thing that I started is now in this project bag. This was made for me by Pauline from So Be Bags, and she sells her bags on Instagram if you're interested. I'll link her Instagram down below. So what did I start? I started the Luca S. I couldn't help myself. There's nothing quite like starting a new kit, is there? When all the flosses are laid out perfectly, all the colours are beautiful. So, first of all, let me show you how the floss cards work. So when you use a thread, you obviously unhook it. Make sure you unhook it from underneath, otherwise if you just try and pull it you get in a giant knot, from one who knows. Then there's a little tag at the side to catch the end of the thread that you don't need, and then there's a little hole at the side for any spare thread that you might have. And excuse me, this is on 14 count white Ada, which is the kit fabric. Now I did put this in a frame. It lasted 4, maybe 5 stitches before I had a hissy fit and took it out. And I'm back to sewing it in hand. And actually, it's okay, it's fine. So that is where I've got to. So I've not done loads and loads, but I had only one sort of evening at it. So I've started in this top corner here. And the reason I've started in this top corner here is because I don't take instruction well. The instructions say to find the centre and then count down to the bottom. And I was like, no. So I've started in this top corner here, which is where, well, I would normally start in the top left, so I've started in the top right. And I've estimated that those are the smallest margins that I can get away with, because I'm going to be making it into a stocking, so I don't need massive margins. And I will probably run the sewing machine around it. Unfortunately, this isn't going to get to Mum's to be overlocked for a few weeks, but it should be okay. I've got enough for it not to fray. But yeah, that's where I've got to. So I've started up here, so the open window and the green curtain, and then coming down into the teddy bear, and then started the red hat. I was just desperate to get into the red, if I'm honest. And what I tend to do is I will sew a length of thread. So this has got, you use 3 threads, and actually 3 threads is good, it's not too tight. You use 3 threads, so I'll cut off a length, use the first 3 threads, try and use the second 3 threads because I don't really like keeping lots of little bits of floss on those cards. They get a bit knotty, although those aren't too bad. And then I'll swap to a different colour. I'm not very good at like kind of colour completing or even completing a page or a box or a section. I'm a bit more random than that. Right, let's go with the Freebie. Now the Freebie, I saw this Freebie stitched and then I became desperate to try and get my hands on it. And it is from the Blue Flower. And I may very well start this tonight if I've got enough of the colours. Are you ready for this? The Christmas Hippo by Janine McGowan from the Blue Flower. It's a free download, so I will put the link down below. But it's amazing. If I can find a picture of somebody stitched it, if I can put a picture of somebody who stitched it, then I will, because it's just amazing. It's just this cutest little Christmas hippo that I've ever seen. Right, let's do the giveaway. So, I was contacted by Chloe. Now, Chloe is Girl with the Gavel Stitches. And she has recently started reproducing some samplers. And this one really took my fancy. And luckily enough, she messaged me and said, would I like to do a giveaway for one? So this is Esther Law. Now you might have to excuse my printing because it would appear that I have a random green line in things. And I really like the fonts that this has been stitched in. It almost has kind of like a Quaker look to it. Now just from reading what Chloe's written about it, she can't find Esther Law because there's no date associated with it or a place. But she knows that the family that owned it were up in Scotland, so potentially could be Scottish. So, love it. It is, let's have a look. Oh gosh, we've gone really green on the inside. 155 by 159, so not that big really. She suggested 310, black coffee, and possibly vintage country mocha as a suitable fabric, but you could stitch it on anything. So I have got one of these to give away. Now the key word for this I am going to choose is Gavel, G-A-V-E-L, because part of the reason that Chloe and I sort of started talking, A, she bought a chart off me a very, very long time ago, but she's an auctioneer and my dad was an auctioneer as well. So I've got a few of his gavels, and if I see a lonesome gavel in an antique shop or a vintage shop, I tend to pick it up just so that it's not left unattended. So we started talking about that, so that's why she's Girl with a Gavel. So G-A-V-E-L if you would like to enter for this one. And I think, gosh, it's gone more annoying and tickly. Not painful, just more annoying and tickly. Let's go for, what day are we on? The 3rd today. Now I know people will probably watch a lot of these over the weekend. Let's go for the 22nd. That's when I finish school. So that's my last day of work, is the 22nd. So I'll draw the winner for this on the 22nd. And that will be a nice celebration for the last day of term. It's also the Jingle Ball this weekend. The Jingle Ball, I think it opens in about an hour and a bit. I'm really excited. I have to admit I'm much more excited about the shopping. I shouldn't say much more excited. Stephanie's done a great job laying on classes and meet and greets and things like that. But because obviously most of it's American time, there's not that many things that I can maybe get onto. But the exclusive charts, the ones that I've already seen, will make the entry fee worth it alone. So I'm going to go in and have a bit of a shop around, and then I'm going to see what else I can fall into, see what the chaos I can cause. So yes, I don't know why I'm waving that, I've just got it in my hand. I do enter for that. Right, let's have the advent calendar from Marks and Spencer's. Can you see how bright my under eye looks? I had a little go with it earlier. What have we got here? Oh, nail polish. By somebody who's, well, your guess is as good as mine. It's called Kensington High Street, but it's by somebody who's got a black label on black nail polish with a bit of a reflection on it. Nails ink. Nails ink. There we go. I recognised it by the writing more than the actual. So it's a really dark sort of plummy red colour called Kensington High Street. So there we go. I'm not sure I'll be modelling that anytime soon. My nails look like Stig of the Dump at the moment. Right, let's have a little talk through some other people doing Flosstube. So thank you very much to those of you who've let me know. So Caroline at Everto is doing a FlossMas, but via her Off the Grid Needle Arts channel. So I'll link all these down below. The Vintage Stitcher, and the person who recommended the Vintage Stitcher said that she's got loads and loads of finishing ideas. So if you're after some finishing ideas, that could well be a good idea. Bumble Stitches is doing one. Yasmin's Made with Love, as I mentioned yesterday, and the Basic Bunch are doing one. So I'll link all those below. Thank you very much for letting me know. I should be checking some more of those out and go along and support them. What have I got here? Oh, I printed these out. The latest edition of Cross Stitcher magazine is out, and I get it through Readly. So I print mine out, the ones that I like. Now there were 2 or 3 charts that I really liked in this month. Some of them I know I wouldn't stitch, but I can just appreciate them as beautiful charts. There were some really nice little snow globe ones, but not my style, but I can really appreciate them. But I quite liked these. I quite liked these. Now they're using them as knife and fork holders, but I think I would just make them into little stockings and hang them on the tree. So there's 3 designs there. They've got about 10 DMCs, and they are 68 high by 37 wide. So you could definitely get those up really quickly. A lot of people have asked me how I print from Readly. Basically what I do is I use my phone, I screenshot it, and then I print it as a photograph, rather than trying to download it or anything like that, or print straight from it, because I don't think you're technically allowed to print straight from it. I'm not sure it's got a function to print from it, so I just screenshot it and then print my photo. My previous finishes, now I thought I would show this one, seeing as Chloe has got a new chart out. This is by Chloe also, Girl with the Gavel Stitches, and this was her first chart that she released, which was a little freebie. Very simple marking sampler, no name on it, no date, so you could add your own name and date, and I just sewed it onto a little spool and turned it into a little hanging ornament, which I may very well put on the tree this year because it's got a little bell on the bottom. So that's also from Chloe. And then my other finish that I really should have framed by now, but I haven't, is Welcome Summer by The Drawn Thread. I've done spring, summer, autumn. I've got winter and the Christmas one to do. Whether I'll have time to do one of them this December, I don't know. I don't know. There we go. Somebody asked me about my Santa portraits that I'd wanted to finish for Christmas, and I've got 2.5 of them done, and I would love to have them finished for Christmas, but the awkward part of my brain, now that I know I should be stitching them, doesn't want to stitch on them at all. So what I'm going to do is I will display the 2 that I've already stitched, and just take the pressure off, and maybe the flight of fancy will take me to finish the other 2 before this Christmas. It would be lovely to display them, but there will also be other Christmases. And I also know myself, I get this little bit of Christmas in January as well, where I think I just want to finish off a few Christmas things ready for next year. Don't ask me how my brain works, I've not figured it out. Right, is that everything? I think so. So, the Patchwork Rabbit, number 3. Now, 2 seconds. There we are, back again, sorry about that. So, number 3. Let's have a little look in here. Ooh, Cranberry by the Gentle Arts. That is a beautiful colour. Beautiful colour. I think I've used that one before. But there we go. I know what to say today. Stay classy, Stitchers.